everyone, welcome back. I've been busy making blueprints and building factories. So in the last video, I went through the blueprint of making rotor factory, where I was making 1.5 motors, sorry, not rotor, motor factory. But where I was making 1.5 motors per minute. And so this was a blueprint which I discussed last time, and that is basically like the first floor of my cooling system blueprint. So this is my cooling system blueprint where I'm using the recipe of the second one, and I have underclocked it to 3, and I'm taking in 6. I'm basically making 6 heat sinks, which takes in 1.5 motors, 36 nitrogen gas, and gives me 3 cooling systems. So motor is being made here, 1.5 motors, which is the blueprint which I went through last time in my last video, which is there in the last video. I went in detail in regards to every single part of this blueprint. Honestly, this part over here is a little bit complex, which I have gone through in my last video, so you can take a look at it. But yeah, so here I have this is a part which is making heat sinks, which takes in aluminum casing and rubber. So for me, both of these are raw resources because aluminum casing is being made in a separate factory. It has its own dedicated factory. You cannot make aluminum casing in every single blueprint that you want. It's not like iron ingots. You can't make it. You need to deal with lots of fluids and stuff, right? So aluminum casing needs its own factory. The same with rubber. It needs its own factory because you need to deal with oil and a lot of different stuff. So these two are basically raw resources. So all I do is put in an assembler, mark what you need, how much you need, and I started using the signs in my blueprint so that it's easy for me to understand what's happening. There is even the raw input over here for motors. So this 1.5 motors is basically being made with just 90 iron ore. 90 iron ore goes in here. Lots of stuff happens in between. Lots of magic basically happens in between. After all of that magic, it finally checks out 1.5 motors. So that 1.5 motor goes in to this final cooling system. Similarly, this six heat sinks goes into this final cooling system. And then it needs nitrogen gas, which has input over there. So I'll just bring in nitrogen gas from there, which is again a raw resource, and that will be like 3 cooling system. So pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Cooling system blueprint was pretty simple, honestly, because once this motor part was done, like the bottom floor, the top floor is pretty simple, right? But of course, I changed the pattern for this blueprint, like I put in some of the glass floors in the middle, etc. Each blueprint I'm making them somewhat different so that whenever I plop them down, it doesn't look exactly the same. Even the columns over here, I have supported 2 metal pillars with small frame pillars. It sort of makes sense even from physics point of view, so I just put that. But sometimes like this starts flickering with this foundation. I don't like that, but it is what it is. I have to deal with that. So yeah, so that's the blueprint, and I have already used that blueprint and made a factory using that. So I built a pipeline where I am building nitrogen all the way from there, right? So the nitrogen comes from there, and that nitrogen is going into there. Hello everyone, welcome back. So I was just working on building a couple of my factories, like heatsink factory, cooling system factory, etc. And the cooling systems requires nitrogen. So I started building towards that. I have made a blueprint and everything, which I'll go through later on. But before that, I'm yet to start the system, like the cooling system factory, and I needed nitrogen. So I just scanned nitrogen. And the way you can get nitrogen is through these like pressurized visual resource well pressurizers, and resource well extractors. So I have never used these. Like even in early access, I never came to like this tier or anywhere where I needed nitrogen. So I have never used these. So this will be my first time trying to use this nitrogen, I think. So which will be interesting. This looks like an ice patch or something, like frozen nitrogen, I think. Yeah, solid nitrogen. Yeah, that's how it looks, sort of. So yeah, so I just wanted to record this when I'm first extracting nitrogen, and I built this what a fluid bridge, which just goes across this valley. So I'm over here, so it goes across this chasm over there. Right, and whenever I'm building infrastructures like this, I usually try to make it as realistic as possible so that it's not just like dangling in air with no gravity. Yeah, like there are like supporting structures like these, which are situated over there in the middle, which is connected to that cliff, and also over here, which is connected to this cliff. So that it at least makes sense. It's not like dangling in air, right? Yeah, so the entire infrastructure is built. The only thing left for me to is check this out. I have no idea how this works. Activates the resource well by pressurizing the underground resource. Must be placed on a resource well. Once activated, resource well extractors can be placed on the surrounding resource well extractors. Okay, that's this one. Resource well extractors can be placed on the surrounding subnodes to extract the resource. Requires power. Overclocking increases the output potential of the entire resource well. Okay. 150 megawatts? What? Okay, but this one has no power cost. Okay. The other thing is, let me just scan nitrogen. So when I scan, I can see like what type of a node it is. So as I can see, it says impure, normal, and pure. Normal, there are like 2 circles. Pure, there are like 4, which I assume is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, those are like the 6 nodes, right? That's where you put the well, and these are the 6 nodes from which you can get. And I am assuming there are like 1, 2, 3, 4 pure. Yeah, 4 pure and 2 normal. Okay, so that's how it works. Okay, that's nice. So now let's see. Let me face it in this way. I want the power to be, yeah. So yes, let's see. Is that it? Okay. Nothing happened. Oh, I probably need to give it power, right? Yeah, okay. That was a really nice animation. Does it continue to do that? Oh, it constantly does that. That's how it's pumping nitrogen out from the ground. Okay, that's an awesome animation. Okay, I really like that. So are there any pipes from this? No, no pipes. Okay, so let me just do this, something like that. Right, I'm assuming this is where I start getting the resource. Let's see. Oh, it says I have connected one of these. So there are like 6 connections that I can get. I have connected one. Resource well potential is 600 meter cube per minute. Okay. Maximum is 600. Wait, what? Does that mean, how much are you giving? 60. Oh, okay, that 600 is split across everything. I thought each of these is giving me 600. Oh, no. No. So this 600 is split across everything. Okay. So this is giving like 60. This will also probably give me 60. And these 4 gil will give me 120. So 480, 120 times 4, 480 plus 60 plus 60 is 600. Okay. Okay, so that's how this number is there. 600. Okay, when you overclock, each of those will proportionally increase. Okay. Okay. Fracking. Okay. It's extracting nitrogen through the method called fracking. Okay. 60 meter cube per minute. So I can actually get everything from with just like one pipe, one Mark II pipe right now. Like, yeah, because it's giving me 600, right? So 600 is basically one Mark II pipeline. I was thinking like I might need like individual pipes for each one of these, but no. That's the reason I built like this massive thing. If not, I would have used like a half foundation. But yeah, but I think I can just use like one pipeline and get everything from here, at least for now. I mean, of course, if I overclock, I might need two, Oh yeah, you can also safely overclock because there are multiple outputs. You can get it however you want, right? Like you're not limited by like your pipeline resource output. So okay, that's nice. That's nice. For now, I think I'll just take these two normal nodes, something like that. Yeah, I'll just take these two back to my base. That should be enough. That is like 120. All I need is I think I like 30 nitrogen per minute. But let me just take these two. Sure, why not? And I'm here. So yeah, I think this is really nice. Yeah, I just wanted to record this. Now I'll start using this in my factory. Try to start making like cooling systems, heat sinks, and all of that. I have also made the factory for supercomputers, which I'll go over. And the next part will be like fused modular frames, which is like the last part left out. Apart from this, I think I have automated everything else. So this is the last part which is left, which also needs nitrogen, which is nice. So this is the blueprint, basically, which I plopped. This one. This entire thing is a blueprint, which I just plopped to make cooling systems. As we can see, so I'm bringing in all raw resources from here. So I'm bringing in 90 iron ore, and then I'm bringing in aluminum casings, rubber. That's it. Aluminum casing, rubber, iron, nitrogen, and you'll get cooling systems. How awesome is that? Man, I really like the blueprints. Like the blueprints are the lifeblood for me in this game. Without blueprints, I don't think I could play as fast and as easy as possible in this game. Like blueprints are so nice. So yeah. So I do not have a heatsink factory, right? So heatsink is like a middle resource in this blueprint. So what I did was I just changed the numbers after I plopped this blueprint down. I changed the number to make a little bit more heatsink than what I need. Like for example, this needs 6 heatsinks, but this is making 7.5 heatsinks. And honestly, I have more than enough, like I have enough rubber and aluminum casing for this to handle, so I just increased it. I'm bringing in 30 rubber, but 7 of that rubber is being used for some other factory over here. So I have 23 rubber left. That 23 rubber I'm using it to make the heat sinks. So out of these, I just put in a smart splitter over here, which is basically overflowing into this. So this is basically storing heat sinks. I am assuming I don't need heat sinks too much for building anything. So probably 1.5 heat sinks per minute should be enough, right? I don't expect it to be used too much, so 1.5 heat sinks per minute should be enough. So yeah, so this blueprint, I basically refactored it to get heat sinks. So heat sink factory is also done. It's complete. I don't have to worry about it at all. And then this is the cooling system, which basically takes 6 heat sinks, 1.5 motors, nitrogen gas, which is coming from there. Man, dealing with gases is so nice. I didn't have to put a single pump. The gas just flowed all the way from there till here easily, which was awesome and nice to see. So yeah, and also look at that animation, Blender animation, even that is so cool. And I think the color of that liquid actually changes depending on what you are making. That's what I'm assuming, or at least the liquid that you are using, I think. Because I have seen some different colored liquids in some other stuff, but yeah. Okay. So this is cooling system. So that's making 3 cooling systems, and that is being stored. Never mind. Am I making any cooling systems? I still haven't made much. Huh. Oh, it's probably all going into this. Yeah. I just recently made this factory too. Okay, finally. Yeah, it is going into the dimensional depot. Cooling system. Oh, okay. Oh, it has 500 capacity, so it's taking a little bit of time for it to build up. So yeah, I just built this factory recently, so all the resources have not completely filled. But yeah, just a couple more hours and this container will be filled. But yeah, this is making 3 cooling systems. And with this 3 cooling system, what I did was I just split it into 2. So 1.5 is being stored, the other 1.5 is going into another assembler to make supercomputers, which is making 0.75 per minute. The numbers keeps on decreasing, right? Man, I am fine with this number because it's for my own personal use. I won't be using this for any other factory, right? It's so directly going into dimensional depot. I won't be using this for anything else apart from building stuff, and I don't expect it to be used too much, so I am fine with it. But man, like 6 heat sinks. Oh, nice. 3 cooling system. It's fine. 0.75 supercomputer. It keeps on decreasing, and it's so funny to look at. And that's one thing, honestly, for new players and stuff. Don't be too fixated on this number. Like, you need like 10 supercomputers, 60 supercomputers, like that. If that is the case, then you'll start building huge factories, and then you'll run into lots of different problems. And just building one factory will take you probably like a week, like 10 hours per day, and you work for like a week, and finally you'll complete that factory. And you'll lose interest very quickly in this game. That's one of the things which I did very early on into when I first played this game. That was a mistake that I did. So that's one honest opinion that I'll give you guys, that if you are not someone who has lots of time and wants to do all of that, just do what is fun. If you like completing factories like me, like I just like to build factories and see the output as soon as possible, like how it works and everything. I don't want to spend like multiple days just building one single factory and then finally see one output. By that time, I would have lost interest. Um, so don't chase these numbers. You can finish this game with you don't even need to balance as much as I am doing. Like, I'm perfectly balancing everything. Like, there are these complex balances which I have done. Nothing is required. It's fine if you are making a bit more or a bit less. It's totally fine. You can still run the machine and you can still get the final product. So you don't need this to be 100% efficient. That's what I'm saying. This can be like as low as like 30-40% efficient. It's totally fine. Maybe even lower than that. It's fine. But don't chase those numbers. That's one of the main things which makes you lose interest in this game. And that's an honest opinion, by the way. So yeah, I put in another assembler over here which is making supercomputers 0.75, and I'm taking half of the output from the cooling system, which is also making, radio control unit, which is also making 3 per minute. But this has already backed up before, so honestly it has backed up even now because of that. But I built this long back, right? So yeah, that has already backed up. Supercomputers are also done. That is also probably storing, 36 supercomputers already. So yeah, slowly it will build up pretty soon, so no worries over there. But yeah, supercomputers are done, cooling systems are done, heat sinks are done. What more is left? It's just the fused modular frames. That's the only thing. This is the only thing that is left. So once I complete this, everything that I can possibly make is done, and I'm very happy. So once I make the blueprint for this, I did try to get some alternate recipes, but I did not unlock any. So I'll just stick with this. I don't feel like this recipe is that bad, although the number doesn't seem that good. Like if I do 1, for example, this goes to 50 aluminum casing and not 60. So you need this to be like 1.2. Then it'll be like perfect numbers. I'll probably plan like a blueprint around this number. This is what I'm planning. So I'll make a blueprint for this and make a factory for this, and then everything will be done. I'll unlock the next couple of tiers in tier 8. I still won't be able to unlock everything because I will unlock like turbo motors and stuff, which I need to unlock even more stuff in tier 8. So I need to build one more factory for turbo motors. But once that is done, everything in tier 8 is complete. The only thing that will be left at that point is for me to make like a weapons factory, which I have planned from a long time. That's the next huge project that I want to do. Complete all weapons, have that ready. Once weapons factory is done, I will start making space elevator factory over there. And that is lots of lofty goals, lots of huge goals that I have, right? And I want to achieve those. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. I'm also pretty happy with how, actually the most favorite part for me in this entire game world is basically this factory. I was not expecting this to grow this huge, and honestly, it's so chaotic that I really like it. Like initially, it just started with this part. This is all that was there. Then I slowly added that part, like at the bottom over there, which you can't even see this part. So that bottom part is what I added. Then I added some parts over here. Then I added a criterium stuff over there at the bottom over there. And then I kept on adding more and more stuff because I had resources over here which I needed to use, and it was easy to bring stuff here because of existing infrastructure. So I kept building stuff over here, and it kept on increasing, and it has grown a lot taller, lot larger, lot more chaotic, and I am loving this. This is how I wanted it to be inside that base, by the way. But that base is way too organized. Like it's like a box. There's nothing going on in there. Honestly, I want this to be my main base right now. But it's fine. I can still enjoy this a lot. Yeah, this part of the factory turned out really well. I'm loving this. um, so yeah, and everything looks different too. Like each of my blueprints are different. This has only glass frames, this has different stuff, some of the other ones have different stuff, so that also adds to the character around this factory, so which I'm liking. There's also some small factory over here compared to this one, so that is also nice. Apart from that, I think the rubber factory and the power plant over there is my next best project, I think. But that is way too organized, by the way. That's perfectly organized, perfectly symmetric, and all of that. So for that reason, I don't like it that much because it's way too organized. I like some chaotic stuff in the factories going on everywhere, where just by seeing this, you can't understand anything. Like, what can you understand from this? Absolutely nothing. All you can see is some belts moving here and there and some outputs. You are getting some outputs, that's all. Even I can't troubleshoot if something is wrong over here. But I'm uh, happy that nothing is wrong. So yeah, it's fine. Oh my god. Okay, so all of my final late game factories are done. The only thing left is fuse modular frames, um, turbo motors. Yeah, these two are the only things that is left out. So I'll get on to building those, and I'm having so much fun making these blueprints, and I'm just enjoying this game. So yeah, with that, thank you everyone. See you guys in the next video. Bye.